All right, it's 16 minutes up to 7 a.m. It's now time for AM Talk, where we talk about all the big issues, break the issues down. You can keep us company. Send me your comments on the issues that we're tackling this morning, and I'll be glad to share with the rest of the world. My guest seated now. This is refreshing, Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu. You got this honor quite recently. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So what, more education, more qualification?
Yeah, good morning to your cherished viewers and my colleague.
Okay, I haven't quite introduced him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since we met.
Yes. Yeah. And then you got a doctorate.
Yes, LLD. Doctor of Laws degree.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you. From far away Singapore.
Yeah. Okay. That's nice. Nilante Vanderpuije, who is a former member of States and then also member of Parliament for Dodo. Good morning to you. How's your constituency?
Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, very peaceful. We just lifted the ban on drumming and noise making. It was exciting. People were so happy.
Is the ban even effective in the first place?
Yeah, this year has been extremely successful. I think what happened in Ashanti region influenced the people in our community and our jurisdiction. People have come to accept the fact that you may have your freedom, liberty to do whatever you want, but if you live within a particular jurisdiction, the customary traditions of the people must be respected. And let me say, for once, we didn't hear of any incident of people flouting the regulation, people willfully deciding not to abide by the regulation. And the churches especially were superb. For the first time, I saw Muslim communities also lowering down their public address systems. So generally it was successful, and I congratulate almost everybody who lives within our territory for respecting our laws and tradition.
Okay.
It's good for all of us. That month, that period, I felt so good. I think
What was the effect of that, by the way?
You know, people, we do not know, but the effect to me physically is that it helps, because the noise level sometimes make you a bit tensed up, stressed. Everywhere you pass noise, everywhere you pass noise. So for that month, there was a little bit of a reprieve for everybody.
Okay.
And it helps all of us to also now sit down and think. Two, it also reduces the wahala the women go through by not having their men in the house all the time. Because during that period, the beer bars and the sports become empty. People decide to stay at home. And so people like you are happy.
Oh, really?
You see our faces all the time.
Okay, so that's on the ban on noise making, which was recently lifted. I see you're all excited about it. But if you were back at the Ministry of Sports, what would you have said about Asamoah Gyan's Armband thing that's also been making huge headlines with his picture and all on it?
Well, let me say this. I have nothing against Asamoah Gyan per se, but football has its rules and regulations. You are not supposed to advertise anything during such FIFA functioning matches. And as such, he's a professional, he must know that. And I think the officials should have advised. There is a FIFA-approved armband that are worn by almost every captain in a match. It's a national team. It is not Asamoah Gyan's team. So Asamoah Gyan cannot impose his personality on something that symbolizes the whole country. And I think if it had been even the Ghana alone, without his effigy or picture, fine. But to have your picture, I think it's a bit unwholesome.
Yeah.
And if we are going to live by principles, and I don't think it is right.
Do we sanction him?
Well, I know FIFA has sanctions against certain things. If that will be applied, if that will come to the attention of FIFA and CAF, because that was a CAF sanctioned match. So if CAF also would decide to apply the rules, then he may be sanctioned.
But why didn't we stop him?
Well, I don't know.
Because this only happened because he was going out of the game and somebody had to take over. That's how come people's attention were drawn to it.
No, I saw it right from the beginning. It was so obvious in the match. You were seeing the star, especially the black star. That's what I was seeing. And I didn't have anything until I saw himself, his picture. And I thought that was a bit above the acceptable level. Yeah.
All right.
It's unfortunate they played one great match. This particular incident is taking the shine out of the excellent match we had. Especially, I'm so happy for Kwesi Appiah and his technical team. I'm extremely happy for the young ones who were playing their debut matches.
Would you have given him a second chance, by the way?
Kwesi Appiah,
Yes.
this was a decision I have taken already.
Yeah?
In fact, let me tell you, if things have not changed, there was no way that the foreigner would have gone to Gabon. He wouldn't have gone to Gabon.
But would you have brought Kwesi Appiah back?
Yes. I've said this several times. I've said this all the time that my principle is totally against expatriate coaches. I've always believed in the ability of. I was a footballer. Kwesi Appiah was my senior, just 1 year ahead of me when we were all playing. And he's an excellent leader, a gentleman, very unassuming, but very effective, very, very intelligent. And so the team he has assembled, Stevie Appiah, Tanko, Richard Kinson, are the best you can have.
Honorable Kokofo, I wonder if you have any thoughts what we've been talking about, and I've been seeking his views because he just left the Ministry of Sports and a game against Ethiopia.
But you didn't give me the opportunity to congratulate my brother.
Oh, please.
He's my very good friend, very, very good friend. You know,
he's now fully into law practice.
Yeah. We discuss a lot. We discuss a lot mutually. You know, when I'm in Kumasi, I want to see him.
Oh,
because I sometimes play around his area.
Bansma.
I have to always seek his permission before I go there.
Yeah.
Any thought on this Asamoah Gyan's captain's armband with his picture and all on it?
Well, really, I haven't taken much notice about it. I don't think it's anything.
You don't think it's a big deal?
So serious to bother our heads over. Our boys did just well, as former minister have said, and congratulations to the entire team, the coach, Kwesi Appiah, then his successor, my own honorable Isaac Esiama, the affable minister. What we need to do is to continue to inspire our boys, our team. My brothers and sisters in Kumasi did just that. I mean, we were full. The stadium was packed. My ticket was reserved, just that I had something doing in Accra, I couldn't go. So I congratulate all Ghanaians who trudged to the stadium to cheer these boys up. Those new entrants, they need our support. We need to encourage them further and further. There are many a times when these young boys comes onto the team.
And Honorable, I'm afraid, but I have to catch you then. We've got to take a quick break because we've got to work on your microphone, I understand. Stay with us, we'll come back with AM Talk.
This Wednesday on the Joy Business Van, adding value to pineapples. We are at Brekusu in the Eastern region, where two startuppers have founded an agri-development organization, Sisamu. We'll get insight into how their flagship dried pineapple snack is made.
So we started with this Ziploc bag. We put in the dried pineapples, we fill it for 30 grams, we tie it with a rubber band, and in the middle of the rubber band, we put our label there. And we started selling it on campus. So we realized that a lot of students loved it.
Celebrating authentically Ghanaian product ahead of the Ghana Year Fair on the 24th of June at Impact Hub in Accra. The Joy Business Van, on TV, radio, online, and on the ground. It's empowered by Joy Business and supported by Busy. Great things happen. And EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
You're welcome back. We're still on AM Talk with my guest, Mr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu, who is former Member of Parliament for Bantaman. Neilante Vanderpuije is a Member of Parliament for Dodo Dio. Honorable Kokofu, you were just talking about the Black Stars?
Yes, I was just on the point that I don't see any big deal with the armband thing.
Okay.
The boys did as proud. They played their house out, particularly the new ones, and we need to support them. We need to inspire them to greater heights. So I also took the opportunity to congratulate the coach, the entire team, and then the minister, Isaac Esiama. So, agreeing with my colleague, the former minister, I think we have a good technical team in the person of
Kosiapia with a back staff.
Yeah,
Ibrahim Tanko.
Yeah. I've been watching them, and I know these are men who really hungry for laurels. So let's continue, and you can always trust Kumasi. Kumasi's positive.
Yeah, as for Kumasi, dear.
Yes, with our support and everything, and people have just forgiven the blasters.
The lab is almost back, isn't it?
Yes.
But yesterday there was a total blackout in lots of places.
Yeah.
Where were you?
Yeah, I was in my office, and it was bad. I was in my office. And it wasn't the best.
Now, Gridco is giving some explanations to what a lot of us experienced yesterday in terms of the blackouts. They say technical challenges confronting the Ghana Grid Company resulted in widespread blackouts in Gridco-served regions on Monday evening. An announcement from the Electricity Company of Ghana confirmed the challenges and noted that Gridco engineers were working to restore power. Reports indicate that the power in some areas of the various affected regions returned after a while. On May 3, Ghana witnessed a nationwide blackout as a result of surge of power, leading to the loss of a number of Gridco generators across the country and the subsequent loss of power. It took over 12 hours, remember, for power to be fully restored. And the question I'm asking is this some kind of, should we be preparing for something bigger? Is this something that we will often be seeing? I wonder what you think about this.
Well, let me say this, with machines and such things, anything at all could happen. Sometimes we tend to be quick to condemn the situation. This is not the first time it's happened. It's happened severally, and we should always be happy that our engineers have always been able to get us back. Yesterday, the whole day, I was caught up in the house. I decided to have a rest because we don't go to Parliament on Mondays. But then it was quite unexpected the way it happened. And because of the rain, where I stay, normally when it rains, we go off. So I thought it was one of those things. But then it went a bit longer until I got the explanation from the people we called, and they told us. As of this morning, we are not back.
Oh.
Yeah, so I would say we hope that they'll be able to restore all of us. And
it means that your lights went off before 8 p.m. because 8 seemed to be the time where a lot of people went off at the same time.
We went off in the morning, came on in the afternoon, went off again, came on, and then this midnight we went off around 2, and then came around 4, and then went off again.
Okay, looks like we're experiencing doomsday.
Yeah, so I don't know, but so then when we came on, like when I got up very early in the morning around 5, I saw that certain parts of the community were off and others were on. So I thought maybe it had to do with just our area. But let us give them the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes these things happen. Your own car, you could be driving the car very well, just in traffic, it could go off. For one reason or the mechanical faults are always frequent with machines. So
but this is not regular elsewhere, and this is definitely not acceptable in other areas.
No, you see.
But we've made it like it's normal.
Sometimes, even in Europe, in America, sometimes they do go off, but just that the length and the period are always, so short, and you don't even feel it. Within 2 minutes, 5 minutes, there is restoration. But then it happens. There are power trips all the time. It depends on the surge in the system. So I will not want to think that there is a major fault. I want to believe what they've told us, and I hope that they will just go through their normal activity and restore everybody to normalcy. It's a bit difficult to manage. When I consider, I was just telling my brother a story, and somebody just walked to my house because I was using a generator, and she came, she wanted warm water because the child is a sickler and cannot bath cold water. So she came to my house, want because and that should tell you what some people go through when situations like that happen. So I just hope that we'll all go back. Gridco will be able to fix it, and then we shall have normal light.
Honorable Kokofu, do you get the sense that we probably have some challenges that we're yet to tackle?
Yes, of course. As a nation, we've never shied away from our challenges in the energy production and distribution. I think efforts are being put in place to rectify or remedy the situation. However, we still haven't gotten there yet. So as much as I agree with my colleague that, yes, these are machines and it can trip off and all kinds of things, we need to up our game. If there are other things to be put in there to ensure efficiency and uninterrupted, sustained power supply, that is what we, the people of Ghana, are looking for. And indeed, that is what leaders, governments, and every other person want for his people. So for now, we will have to take the excuse that has been given and hope that they will be able to turn things around. But going forward, we should be able to put measures in place, backups measures. So if there were to be emergencies and other exigencies that cannot be foreseen or cannot be properly anticipated, then we can quickly fit it in. Just as he said that in other jurisdictions, yeah, there are power trips and all kinds of things, but then there are emergency backups that fills in the gap whilst the major repairs are being done. It also has to do with our usage of energy, electricity and all those things in our various homes and other areas. You need electricity, you need power at critical points, not at all times. People leave their offices with air conditions and lights on, particularly public services and all kinds of things. These are kind of things that brings wastage into the system that we need not waste the little that we have. So the culture of using power appropriately and judiciously for economic reasons must be inculcated in all of us, so we will be able to preserve power as we go along.
Yeah, Honorable Vanderpuije, are you interested in putting an urgent question forward to get either the Energy Minister or the Gridco boss to come and give some answers? Yeah. Because if it happened in May and it's happened in June, and we've been experiencing this dumso recently.
You see, sometimes the work of Parliament, Kokofu will tell you, is not just. Sometimes you have to examine the situation and make sure that it is of national calamity. It's of a level where you can really, because if for everything you put in a question, we will not be helping the ministers.
So we haven't gotten there yet.
What has happened, unless we don't want to believe that it's as a result of temporary surges and things within their systems, unless it's a major fault that will take them days to fix, then you can go on an urgent question for the minister to come. Because if you're going to invite the minister for everything, I wonder how the ministers are going to work. It will be like Parliament is managing the ministries for those people. So I am reluctant in those little things becoming national issues. Sometimes, yes, on your own as a minister or MPs, you can walk to the minister's office and get the answers you are looking for, instead of trying to it's like
It's
bringing a
someone here
minister.
into
Yeah.
Parliament.
Sometimes I don't think that is helpful, in the sense that we tend to open ourselves up too many times. Consultations are good, and I believe in sharing
Okay.
information
All right.
than trying to get score political points.
Okay.
Because
All right.
why will you bring a minister on such a thing when you can easily walk to the ministry or to Gridco or to any of these agencies?
Except that the
and
citizens can get the same access. We can't just walk into the minister's office or just call
but for
him
example,
and
I
ask for
called
answer-
when I
answers.
called the customer relations but they told me the reason why they have that. Certainly certain people will not be able to call, or they may not have maybe say the knowledge to call to find out what has happened. But I believe that the explanation that has come should be enough for us now.
Okay.
And then if subsequently in the days ahead it persists, then we can now summon the minister to answer a question.
All right.
That.
On
but
that note,
I want to touch on what my brother said. One of the things that I believe seriously we must be looking at now is the seepage in the system. Look, there are so many people connecting to electricity without paying.
Yeah. Illegal connection.
So many.
isn't somebody responsible to ensure that people are not doing illegal connection if they're not doing their job?
No,
Why
you
should I worry?
Some in certain communities, the deprived communities, it's very difficult for the ECG people to themselves to find out.
Your constituency would be one of the areas.
Well, yes, certain areas in my constituency. Supposing somebody, if you go to Makula Market, you will see connections, and you can immediately say that this one is not the right connection.
And there are oftentimes reasons for these fire outbreaks and all those
Yes.
things. Yeah.
So I think that those
But how do we address those challenges?
in certain jurisdiction, for every tapping into the major system, it will be seen. It will show. Because the network is so strong and effective that as soon as you get in, it will show. So I think we must develop ECG, Gridco, and the rest should be.
Maybe that's why we need a
Updating.
private person to manage ECG, so we can block all those.
I have no problem
Leakages.
with private people coming in to manage as partners of state. To me, the system we have in this country, that's the best way to go. Public-private partnerships. My only problem with it is it must be done in such a way that Ghanaians do not suffer. Because we've seen some cases like that before. And I am all for private infusion. For example, we grew up in this country where when you want a line in your house, it will take you about a year.
Telephone line.
To get it. It took about a year. But as soon as we brought private investment and private capital into it, it was so easy to get it. You call the next day, they come to fix it. When we started in this country, if you wanted it, when we went to sell, you saw the queue that people used to queue in order to acquire a handset.
Yeah.
And we were buying cheap, sometimes at astronomical rates. So competition is good. Private infusion is good. It helps create efficiency, and it helps stabilize the system in such a way that demand and supply are working out in such a way that prices become more, let me say, affordable to the consumer. We have choices. But a system whereby it's statutory, state-owned, and so everybody try to rip the state off something. Everybody try to get something out of the state. Abide there, it becomes difficult to manage. And people, sometimes even people who work there, do not see the institution as theirs. They see it as belonging to some stranger somewhere. He's doing that stranger a favor by working for him. But once it becomes privately managed, that private person, if it is Henry will make sure you work for what you get.
Okay. Mr. Kofu, we're just talking about, do we need all the leakages that we talk about? Do we absolutely need a private person to
Yes,
block this?
it's in totality. You're looking at efficiency and sustainable supply of power, and above all, the affordability. So you may have the access, you may have the, you may have it in abundance, but are you going to be able to afford it? That is all that. So the PPP concept can never be ruled out in many of our endeavors, private-public partnership. However, the content of it, the agreement, the working module should reflect to the advantage of the people of Ghana. My Honorable may have just given us an example of the opening up of the telecommunication landscape. And with the coming on board of Vodafone, we've all seen how advantageous it was, or it is, that we've been able to actually bring competition, and we are getting value for money. We are getting what really we wanted, or the people wanted. So the same can be applied to the electricity sector. The workers are Ghanaians, and they've shown a great deal of apprehension. They are not so much happy with the arrangements. So my take is that the government sits them down in a transparent manner. Whichever private entity we are looking at, we should be able to open up to all of us.
Okay.
And then workers, everybody, all stakeholders will be prepared to jump on board.
Okay.
Losing of jobs, I mean job security is one major concern of the workers of the electricity. And of course, we are all
Well, the president has
concerned.
given some assurances.
Yes.
Indeed, which has been re-echoed by the minister.
Yes.
So,
yes.
now
So by
that
now, I think negotiations and everything are ongoing. During the past regime, they started the whole process. And indeed, some of us spoke against. I did. And now.
But now that you are in power, you see the
No.
essence of what they were proposing after all.
No, the essence has always been good. Yeah, I've said it. The PPP has always been there. But the workers' concern, we were on
Nothing much has changed from,
yes,
from
so now,
what was going to happen
so
before.
now I'm insisting on this government, my government, to make sure we engage the workers so we can allay their fears.
Okay.
That is the bottom line.
All right.
Once we're able
Let's-
to allay their fears and agreements are open and transparent, then we ready to go.
Okay, let's move on. I see power changes a lot of things, but that's obvious, isn't it? Let's talk about the NDC. And I think it's absolutely right that I say congratulations, 25 years of NDC. But it's also revealing a lot of things within the party. It's almost like it's an open forum now for people to talk, which is a good thing. Former President Rawlings has said a few things. Maybe we can go back to that and then play back to you an appearance of the General Secretary of the party on Pulse yesterday and some of the comments that he made. So first, we'll hear former President Rawlings, and then we will listen to the General Secretary of the party, General Bakupe. Stay with us.
I disagreed with him. I disagreed with him on issues, and I have such as selecting of candidates and many other things, and I have stuck to the party's constitution. I have disagreed with President Leos, and I have stuck to the party's constitution. I have disagreed with President Mahama, and I have stuck to the party's constitution because, look, everybody, any of the three presidents, when they were elected as flag bearers, they swore by our party's constitution, but that is supreme. When I was elected as a general secretary, I swore by the party's constitution. So if a matter comes up, and I say that, look, this is the party, this is what our boss, that is the party's constitution says. So I will not depart from it. I will insist that we go by it. If that constitutes
disrespect. And I'm happy that all the three big men has at one point in time or the other found it to be very difficult. But fortunately, I have never had any case filed in any court in Ghana calling into question decisions that we have taken, and I have lost that case.
I'm particularly interested in you holding tight to the party's constitution.
Sure.
Are you then suggesting that ex-President Rawlings wasn't following the party's constitution?
Well, I'm not saying that in generality, but there were certain activities decisions that had to be taken. And the position he espoused.
And decisions
decisions about the selection of candidates, for instance.
Okay, what did he want?
What was his proposal? I don't think that we have to go into those things. But I'm saying that I have had occasion where maybe he has suggested that a particular person should be made a candidate in a particular.
We need to re-examine ourselves. We need some serious education, not just propaganda stuff. If we, the younger generation, 20 years and below, know very little about where we've come from. How many of us know enough to be able to impart the history of who we are, where we're coming from? One day, I'd like for us to meet here, and I will tell you some very interesting story. The biggest 419, political 419, that was pulled on us, right in front of us. And that 419 is still there. And if we couldn't prevent it, if we seem unable to do anything about it, then I ask myself, where is this? What's the power of our conviction? Even when we were office, the way they were harassing us, the ease with which they got away with 204.
So the NDC is 25 years. And in celebrating this anniversary, they've got series of events and things come up at each of these public appearances. And that's former President Rawlings, founder of the party, by the way, who's talking about something that a lot of you agree to.
Well, thank you very much. Let me say this. I didn't know you were going to raise this issue, but let me take the opportunity of wishing all the June-borns in the party and in this country happy birthday. With him, he is 21st, Ezenato is 4th, my very good friend Fifi Kwete is 2nd, my boss Mr. Tuahoy is on the 12th
of June,
my late sister Jijo 10th, and I am 11th.
That's like a revolution.
So on the day NDC 25, I was 52.
Oh.
Belated happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Oh.
You don't look
So that's the reason why, I
Oh.
train a lot. That's the reason why I love NDC. You know, NDC is June 10th, I'm June 11th. I totally agree with the ex-president on the issues.
Is he referring to all the young people we saw in the John Mahama administration?
Well, I don't think so, because most of us are more than the age he mentioned. But what he is saying is that if we want to really live up to what we stand for, there's a need for me, as I sit here, to be able to engage my children first, 18 years, 20 years, to know.
Is this also not to say, is this also not to say that there were a lot of people that followed the NDC who didn't really even know about the ideologies of the NDC? I mean, that was the party in government, so people followed them, and you allowed them to follow you blindly.
No, not really people following NDC, but today, how many Ghanaians can really tell what the NDC stand for? The events of June 4th, leading up to 1992 should be told. People must hear, he must hear it. And people must understand where we have come from as a country. And the founder has always maintained that. In Cape Coast, he says something. He said, look, the UP tradition will never change. They have their principles, and they go by it. He mentioned that they are a property-owning democracy.
Even recently, he's been talking about how consistent the NPP has been
with their principles. And we were founded on the principles of transparency, accountability, probity. And we are deviating from those principles and becoming like the UP tradition. And we cannot beat them to their game. We cannot beat them to their own principles. It's always better as a sportsman. I always do two things. One, I know my strength. I know my abilities. And then I look at my opponent's ability and strength. What will I do in order to improve and make mine stronger to withstand my opponent? Because if I want to play like my opponent, it will be difficult. When we're growing up, our elders say, if you look at somebody's dance and you dance a very bad dance. So what you can do is to perfect yours.
But so whose fault is this?
All of us.
Why are you here?
All of us.
But you haven't seen it?
All of us. What I'm saying is that, for example, in my constituency, one of the things that I always try to do is for me to get a group of young guys between the ages of 18 and 25 and educate them on where we have come from. When I was telling my children that when I was growing up in Accra, there were only 3 traffic lights, they do not believe it. When I told them that when I was in Sunyani, the whole of Bronga Afro region was on a generator. So Kintampo district will have electricity for a period, Techiman district, Bechem district, Sunyani district. Today, everybody has electricity. When I was telling them that back home in Ada, we didn't have pipe and water. We didn't have electricity. There was only one television set in somebody's house, Mr. Bobolampo, and we all go and gather behind his window to watch television, black and white. So this nation has evolved, and there's a need for us to constantly educate the ones coming up, for them to appreciate the efforts that our forefathers have put in, the efforts that some of us sitting here have put in. Today, most of our children are in privileged positions that they do not even appreciate the little that we even do for them, because that is not a wealth. That's not a wealth they've come to see. So if you don't tell them what you have been through in order to secure this foundation and stability for them, they will always think that you are not doing enough.
Mr. Kokofu, looks like, okay, please land.
So it's the same. The NDC must be able to tell its own story to the young ones coming up in the party, to our children, our children's children, so they will come to appreciate the values upon which the party was built. And in that way, anybody who comes into the party will not deviate from the foundations and the beliefs of the party.
Okay.
And that's what I believe we must do.
Mr. Kokofu, you seem to be in a good place. I'm talking about the NPP, because your consistency has been seen, and it looks like it's a point of reference, even to the founder of the NDC. That must be a good feeling.
Well, not really. We are not flattered, and we do not wish NDC any bad. Let me congratulate them. 25 years in existence. It's not a joke as a political party. And they've been able to run the miles in electioneering processes, won elections for themselves and all that. At the tail end of getting into 25 years, they've suffered this heavy defeat, and it is unraveling most of the internal squabbles that there is. Run up to the elections, we were told that our former president, John Mahama, was presiding over a very formidable united party.
Don't you all say it, your political parties?
No, at that time, I mean, the spotlight is on NDC. So we're doing the digestion here. And that's what we were told. And we were made to believe that in order to be able to govern a country like Ghana, you need a leader who is so uniting. I mean, gets everybody, a unifier, gets everybody around. 6 months along the line, here we are, total everything, the worm, the can worm has been opened, the Pandora's box has been opened, and a lot of people have been talking and talking, grassroots participation. I've heard so many people, my own Yamuaponko, Yamin and Co from Kumasi, echoing their sentiments and all others. And the climax we've seen, the cream of creams, I mean the leadership, the founder himself, the general secretary, everybody has been talking. Now, coming on to the founders, you know, you listen to the man, you're watching, and he's talking out of pain. I mean, apart from telling the story as it's coming from within, he harbors some kind of pain, and he tells them, his own people, that if you are calling for unity, it must be genuine, a genuine one, not the propagandist one, not when you are shaking hands and smiling whilst you are.
Is that not human nature?
Well, if you are shaking hands and you are smiling, and still I'm being stabbed at the back, that's what he's talking about. It's a human nature, of course, but then we need to eradicate. That is what he's saying. If we have to move on beyond 25 years and our expectations comes true, we have to lead this country again or something of the sort. We have something meaningful to offer the people of Ghana on the political terrain. Then we must change. He's saying that the old order must change and give place to new, where hypocrisy, sycophancy, and all kinds of things have come to play. And people have taken advantage of power that came on without recourse to our roots, where we started, how we started, and where we were heading towards, or where we wanted to, the destination. And like a founder is like a parent. Having given birth to something or somebody, you have some kind of plans for, and then you know how you'll be training the child or the baby as to where to get to. That's why the Bible says you show the child the right way, and it does not depart from it in the long run. So now the founder thinks its baby NDC has departed from the norm, or they are departing from the norm, and that it needs to be brought back on track. How does it go? How is it going to be done? Are there going to be casualties? People are going to be cut off?
Is that what you're thinking?
Well, that's the dynamism of human association.
Okay.
And Shakespeare said it and said it right. He said the old order changes and give it place to be.
So
leadership he's talking about.
It looks like we're all waiting to see who the flag bearer, the next flag bearer would be. That would be like, like a new dawn, leading us to the new direction where they want the party to go.
Mama, it is not even the flag bearer per se. It is about the leadership. The leadership, out of leadership, we emerge a flag bearer. So they have a long way to go. And
like the MPP doesn't have a long way to go.
Well,
good for you, you're in power, so.
No, we've traversed that path.
So what are we going to see?
This is a party that is over 60 years. And they're still going through.
Oh, if you
those
add your
difficult.
PNDC, and you would make good numbers. So.
Oh, if you add PNDC,
well,
if you add PNDC, what age? What's the age? It can never be compared to the UP tradition.
Yeah,
the UP tradition has evolved seriously. They have not gone through any serious transformation. It's only change of names, from the UGCC to UP to PFP and to MPP. They have not. NDC has evolved. And NDC is a congress. NDC is an amalgamation of people from different political persuasions into one.
Is your history as solid as theirs? So maybe if theirs have been able to live on,
I wouldn't say
contaminated.
Our history is as solid as theirs. They have always been one tradition. We have brought people from different traditions, UP, CPP, and all this will come in. And so we need to now fix a system that will twine all these beliefs into one social democratic belief. Within NDC, there are people who are far right, there are people who are far left, there are people who are center right, and there are people who are center left, and there are people who are in the center in NDC. So in fashioning one common objective and principle for all these people will take time. That's why we will go through this evolution. Well, we are only 25 now. Yeah. We'll go through this evolution. But let me say this. I'm a member of the Customised Committee. And I thank God for that privilege.
The one that's finding out what went wrong in the elections.
So I would not want to go into what went wrong, what made us lose
but
the elections.
Is your report ready? We keep hearing, is a report
ready? It's ready.
Is it out?
It will come out.
When?
It will come out.
When?
We have our own time.
When?
Very soon.
So at this point...
Very soon. I can tell every NDC person that we have finished our work. We'll be presenting
okay.
So give me a copy. Silent one.
So at this point, when you have the 25th anniversary with all the events, with all the talks from leaders of the party, are they aware of the details of the findings?
No. It's exclusively for those of us who are on the committee. And even when I'm giving a copy, for every day, when the secretary downloads it to me, I have my code number. That you cannot get into my code. I cannot get into your code. So no one can really know.
Okay, so when are you making...
possibly, I'm very optimistic that in about a 2 weeks' time, we should...
But you had a certain deadline within which you were working.
Yes, and then we asked for an extension. Because previously we didn't anticipate that the job in hand would be that difficult. And then we also decided to do more because we're giving some room and other things in the terms of reference and other concerns. So we now brought the other things into it to make an enduring report that will be a guide to the NDC for tomorrow and forever.
So in 2 weeks we'll see this report.
I'm very optimistic.
You're making it public, I
don't have the mandate of my chairman to make public any date. I'm saying that from the work we've done, I'm sure.
No, what I mean is you are thinking that from the work you've done, the report would be out in 2 weeks. What I mean is, will the report be made public to everybody? Because we're all interested in knowing details of this.
That would be for the party to decide. It is not for us to decide for the party. The party gave us a job. Once we finish a job, we hand it over to the party. If the party decides to make it public, so be it.
Okay.
If the party decides, it may not, because certain things are so sensitive. I'm very optimistic. Those things will not be public.
We saw a certain report. It looked like a report.
It's not true.
Was that leaked from the committee?
It's not true. It's not true. What that paper did, just getting a reporter to be at one of the cities in one of the regions, and the things that the people said there is what the paper published. It's never true. It's not part of
It's not a picture of your total findings. So go for 30 seconds, because we've got to move on to one more issue before we wrap up.
You see, they are doing a good job. They've done a good job. The report is not out yet, but we have the right to speculate. So there have been a lot of speculations, and we can speculate. And even before they started, the leaders of the party themselves, and here President Mahama had preempted everything. He had come publicly to say, put the blame on me.
But that's the mark of leadership.
And the horse was...
The bus stops with the leader.
So what for them? What for all these Ulabalu and their report?
No, but
and then we have former President Rawlings also coming out openly to say it was corruption, it was arrogance.
That is his view, his opinion. When we met him, he gave us his opinion. Okay. We've met him too.
So that is
We've
public.
met President Mahama. We've met everybody.
So that is public. So it's out there.
You understand?
Did you meet media, by the way?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
And then you went to the regions.
We met.
You met NDC media or you met general media?
We called people, we talked to people.
And you met in the regions.
We met taxi drivers, we met market women.
And they all spoke.
How about opposition?
No.
Your opponents.
You think if I should come to Kofu will tell me what I'm supposed to know?
Yes.
But we also took cognizance of some of the things they were saying. Even they who won the elections.
You see why we know that? You know why we know that?
Even they who won the elections.
You know why we
won the elections? They have set up a committee to find out why they won, because they did not believe that they will win.
Oh no.
They did not believe they will win.
Let's wrap up.
And you were not confident of winning. The reason why we know what is in the report is that it was out there. all those you met.
No.
All those people you met.
You see,
then of course
You also met them.
no, it was open.
Okay.
The regions and
All right,
everything. Unless, of course, you're going to cook up a new report.
No.
Otherwise, all the
Let's-
sentiments are out there.
Let's
as for sentiments,
let's
is
wrap
there.
up. Let's
Sentiments
wrap
are
up with
there.
this. Let's wrap up with this issue that unfortunately politicians, I am thinking, are supposed to give us, a clearer. They are supposed to say how this is going, but since they are not, we continue to experience this. A group of angry residents in Savalugu who staged a demonstration against the assumption of office of the elected municipal chief executive, Hajia Aisha Seidu, have vowed to prevent her from occupying the office even at the peril of their lives. And there's details of this, obviously, in the newspapers and on our website, myjournline.com. So I'm not going to read the details of this, but this is not an isolated incident, Mr. Kokufu. This issue is simply not going away. This issue is simply not going. How on earth somebody who's been nominated, duly elected, how can individuals, party people say that will not allow her to go into her office and start work?
It's an act of indiscipline, and I think the president has spoken about it.
But
And
that obviously is not enough.
yes, well, you have the right to say so. But then, we are saying it here, and we continue to say it. The power to appoint resides in the president, aside those consultations and all other things and other things. So, for you to say that I will not countenance the appointment of the president is an insult. I mean, it's something cannot be entertained.
But there you are, all of you are just watching them.
No,
That's what they're doing.
No, but you see, very soon, the whip will be cracked, and people will find
How
themselves at
soon
the
would you
wrong.
see there's something else unfolding at the Tamale hospital as well, because somebody has been appointed and the old person is simply not going away for the new person to come. Something is almost similar to what happened, which is still happening at the Ridge Hospital, the Accra Regional Hospital.
And they are all wrong. And you see, no, the Ridge Hospital is a bit different.
Well, with what's happening at the Tamale Hospital, it's almost
At the Ridge Hospital, it is not groups who are challenging.
no, it's not groups.
It's the individual.
There's somebody who's been appointed
Yeah.
and hasn't finished serving his term, or he's been transferred, he's been asked to go elsewhere,
Yeah.
but he's contesting that.
Yeah, that's
In
an-
Tamale Hospital, the person who is supposed to be relieved says, but you haven't told me where I'm going. You haven't given me any letter to that effect. So why should I vacate my post? I mean, where am I going? Where's the letter?
The letter is already with him. The letter is there. It is a group that are insistent, or they are insistent that it should stay. That is why two groups crashed, if my information is right.
Yeah, but your party people are still involved.
Yeah, they are involved, and it's wrong.
So my
It's
question is,
wrong.
so why are we watching what is wrong and we're only talking about it? Why are we not doing anything?
The authorities-
This is getting out of hand.
The
It's
authorities-
gotten out of hand.
The authorities will deal with it. It's wrong, and you cannot. You have, even if you have any grievance, you channel it through the appropriate quarters, the appointing authorities and all that. And I learned with the Savalugu one, I learned they've presented petition to the chief director at there, and then I also have read that the regional secretary says they are doing a series of meetings to nip it in the bud. I hope they settle
It's
it
not
amicably.
working. I can just tell you that is
If
not working.
If it is not working,
that is not
the
working.
laws of the land will be applied and have to be applied, and quickly too. I agree with you.
All right, Honorable Vanderpuije, I'll give you the last say. You've been at the local government ministry before. How would you have dealt with this?
Oh, let me say this. I wouldn't sit here and be political about this. During the time of the NDC, it happened. I was quite involved in the selection of DCs. I was part of the committee set up by President Mills to do that. At the local government ministry, we didn't experience too much of days, though, because appointments were done before I even went in. But I would say that this happened during the NDC, but it's not as pronounced as we are seeing now.
It was more pronounced.
It's due to the fact that so many promises have been made. People were making promises to people without considering the fact that you have to go through a particular process. Look at what happened at the Kumasi Coordinating Council, for example. People went in, threw somebody out because they've been promised something. I believe seriously that consultation needed to be done effectively. You see, the whole thing has to do with people wanting to say that, look, we prefer our own person. Is the person who have been appointed coming from, because it's about decentralization. And if you want to have somebody who can make it easy for people to consult, to work, then they will always want to see somebody that they have related with, somebody they can easily walk to. Because sometimes the difficulty they have with some of these areas, the fact that they see the DC as somebody who bridges between them and the executive. So that if the DC is one of them, then they can easily walk to the person and address their problems. But if the person is not somebody they can approach, they become a problem for them. But in all these, you need to carefully balance it in such a way that you may not also sacrifice competence with political, let me say, aggrandizement. So I think that what is happening is unfortunate. I believe seriously the Minister of Local Government who comes from the area must take the necessary steps and have a meeting with them and try and resolve this.
Okay.
When these things are happening, sometimes we think, but then I can also say this, like you said, I think that the indiscipline is too much. Kokofu has also said it. We must crack the whip and crack it well. What is happening in Tamale, what is happening in Savlugu, Nanton, and other places do not augur well for security in this country.
Okay.
And I believe that we must seriously pursue this and make sure that we deal with people, and those people, when they have been dealt with, should be an example unto others.
Okay. Are you looking forward to the next Chief Justice appearing before the appointment committee, of which you remember?
Yes, on
the date has been
on the
19th.
19th, Madam Sophia Akufo will be appearing before us as a member of the committee. I will not be preempting anything that will happen, but I think that
the minority is going to grill her.
Oh no, she should be prepared for us because she's going to be the Chief Justice of the country, and judging from the sentiments of Ghanaians, especially from certain section of the Ghanaians, I think we must be taking from her certain assurances that the judicial system in this country will be fair to every Ghanaian. The judiciary in this country will stand for the truth, and the judiciary in this country will be stronger and more vibrant. That the judiciary can be very predictable, that will instill confidence in the people, that when I'm moving to the court, I am sure I will get justice.
Okay, so can I give you questions?
Yes,
this is just me, but
Wonderful.
Can people watching give questions to members of the committee?
I'll be too happy if you can get your viewers and your listeners to get questions to you, which you give to me.
Okay.
I'll be too happy.
Okay.
Because sometimes we on the committee may not be the repositories of knowledge.
Yeah.
So it may be probably questions that may be convenient to a particular section of the society, which we may not be asking.
Yeah.
And
sure.
so if you file in for us, then you will be helping us to do our work.
Okay. I've got a recommendation for the committee, by the way. Just 30 seconds before we wrap up, you've got to go.
Yes. I wish her well, and I know she's going to excel. The committee will have little to do. Yes, this is a woman who have been there.
Woman of steel, I hear.
Yes.
She was put on the Supreme Court by an appeals court for the former regime.
Yes.
So it tells you that
she has gone through the mill.
Yeah.
And she has Madame Georgina Wood to look up to. You know.
Sure. Okay.
So all the assurances.
That's my mother.
All the assurances you need are already there.
Okay.
I was named after the husband.
Yeah, that's good.
My name Edwin.
Oh,
that's
good.
my uncle. He's the third after my father.
Who's that, Mr. Wood?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. On behalf of Joy News and the group, happy belated birthday to you.
And I need to ask my brother, where is he going? Because so that I will go. Because I thought he was going to Forestry Commission. He was coming to help him.
He swept us.
Sir John swept him.
Okay. Okay.
You know, I will politely and very, very friendly ignore.
Okay, all right. Thank you,
Yeah.
gentlemen. Now, as you know by now, a date has been set for the nominated Chief Justice of Akufu to appear before Parliament's appointment committee. That's on June 19th. So our parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku Gakpo has been speaking to the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, who also happens to be the chairman of the Constitutional Legal Committee in Parliament, Mr. Ben Abdallah Banda. And when we come back, we're talking some sanitation right here on our show. And then there's good news. The Oblogo cluster of schools where we reported, I think it's not even been 2 weeks, that the children were sitting on the bare floor. And this is Accra, Greater Accra region. Well, we shed light on that. And I'm happy to announce they are now sitting comfortably on chairs. But they are buildings, though. We will look at that later on here on our show. So all of you who've been putting a lot of pressure on us to take the cameras back there, our cameras went back there with Martha Krenzel Aqua. That report is later on in the show. Stay with us.
It will be communicated to Parliament. And Parliament will have to work on the appointment. Normally, it goes to the Speaker. The Speaker officially informs the House. Then it is referred to the Appointment Committee, because per our standing orders, it is the Appointment Committee that vets all President's appointees that are supposed to be vetted. And the Chief Justice is one of them. So the Chief Justice will appear before the Appointment Committee and should be taken through the vetting process. The basic constitutional requirement is that the Chief Justice must be somebody of proven integrity and must be of a certain number of years as a lawyer, and it's 15 years. And per the Constitution, the current person who has been appointed to head the judiciary and the judicial service qualifies per the Constitution. And I think they will also have to look at her competence. Her competence, I don't think is in doubt. So when the appointment committee is done with a vetting process, they will prepare a report and submit him to Parliament. It's just like how ministers of state and deputy ministers are taken through the processes. The Chief Justice will be taken through the same process. When the report comes, we will debate and then finally we'll approve.
You think she'll get that, consensual approval?
I should think so, because it is significant to note that immediately after the president appointed or nominated her as the Chief Justice, the minority did a press conference approving of the nomination. So the presumption is that the minority also concurs. You understand? So it will beat my imagination, and to me it will be repugnant to common sense for the minority to make a U-turn when the report is brought to Parliament to now say that we don't approve of the nomination. It will beat my imagination, but I don't think, looking at the track record of the new CJ, any one of us will get up to say that he will disagree with whatever report the appointment committee will submit to Parliament.
Some people have raised issues about her working with the president in her own chamber, possibly raising issues of conflict of interest and all of that. For you, does that hold water? There is nothing like conflict of interest in this matter. We are talking about constitutional requirements. Does she qualify or she doesn't qualify? She does. Is she competent or she's not competent? She is. So the fact that she has ever worked with the president is neither here nor there. The person that she has ever worked with is now the president of the Republic of Ghana. He is no longer practicing as a lawyer, okay? And I think, I don't even remember the last time His Excellency the President went to court to practice. So that argument, people may raise it, but I don't see it as
a legitimate reason why the president should not nominate her as the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana.
And you're confident she will deliver on the job once
She will deliver. She will deliver. If you read her track record, it speaks volume of her competence and of her performance. I have no doubt, not even a scintilla of doubt or lingering doubt in my mind, that she will perform equally the same as the former Chief Justice, or if not better, because we always want to improve upon an existing performance. If the former Chief Justice did well, I expect this one to do better, and I hope she will do better.